I feel like you should just try and find your niche. Try and find what works best on your platform. So experiment with posting different types of videos and see the kind of feedback you get from your audience and which things perform better than others. So if you
Right.
post something, you get loads and loads of comments, everyone's really excited, everyone's resharing your work, and they're all like,
Hmm.
wow, wow, wow. Definitely lean into that and like keep producing similar styles of content, just maybe with like a different subject. So
Right.
the same style of content, but just a different maybe design slightly. And yeah, just keep leaning into what works for you and your audience.
Polish in my hand, I'm ready to create each nail a masterpiece. I can hardly wait. Soft pastels or vibrant hues, each tells a tale in their artistry of nails. Nothing ever fails. With each swirl and twirl, let the magic begin. In this kingdom of gloss, there's no end to the wind. Gloss on my fingertips, watch them shine bright. Painted like a canvas, colors taking flight. Feeling fierce and fabulous, I'm ready to ignite. Slaying the nail game every single night. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird. Nails and beauty talk with Asia the Bird.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a very special guest with us today who is returning. Please welcome nail artist Sadie J. Hello,
Hi.
Sadie, and welcome.
Hey Asia, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, that's absolutely great to hear. So I want to go ahead and really get started by really asking. So it's been 2 years since we had our last podcast interview. So how's life been like since then?
I can't believe it's been that long since we last spoke. I mean, we do text a little bit like on the DMs, but
Yeah.
actually like speaking out loud, we haven't for 2 years. I can't believe that. But yeah, life's been crazy. You know, life always has like the ups and the downs. But yeah, at the moment I'm doing pretty good, very busy. And I just started working at Nuka Nails, which has been a very nice change for me. Getting back into the salon, doing clients again. So that's been really fun.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I want to get into as far as just the evolution of your nail artistry. So in what ways has your nail artistry and mindset about the nail industry evolved in the past 2 years?
I feel like there's always new trends, there's always new products, and you just have to stay on top of everything, especially as a content creator. You want to be, like getting involved in the trends and staying on top of everything. So I think
Yeah.
more recently, I've been kind of experimenting a lot with sort of 3D nail art and sculpting with clays and that kind of thing, which has been so much fun because obviously painting is one thing, but sculpting 3D stuff
Yeah.
is like a whole different ball game, and it's been so much fun to like experiment with and kind of get my head around the new products.
Yeah, yeah, right. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, over the course of like 2 years in itself, like so much has changed. There's so
Yes.
much products that are out and there's so much advanced technology. And we're getting to the point where it's more into the AI. So AI has grown more
Yeah.
and more and more and more and more. So people are utilizing AI for different things, especially social media. Like I just did an interview with Nails Like Us, Kim. And so
Okay.
she's, social media mentor and she talks about, how to use AI in terms of with upscaling your business, in terms of using it for nail content. So it's really cool to see that, technology has grown just in the past 2 years within itself.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's literally always something new. Every day you have to like wake up and see like what's going on now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right, absolutely, most definitely. So I want to get into as far as the nail order Sunday service, which
Okay.
happened, I think, back in January. So
Hmm.
tell us more about that experience, and would you do it again?
It was so scary. Like, I'm not the most confident public speaker. Like, I'm very quiet, I'm very reserved, a little bit
Yeah.
shy. And then to speak in front of like that many people, it's quite like
Mhm.
intimidating. But obviously, everyone's in the same industry. We all do nails, we all have a passion for what we do. And it wasn't just me speaking, I was on a panel with some amazing other nail artists and creators. So it's nice
Mhm.
to be recognized within the industry for what you're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to be able to sort of like tell your story and inspire other people. So it was really fun, and I would definitely do it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember seeing people's stories in terms of like the nail order Sunday service, and it was really cool what nail order did, because not only were they, inviting like different nail professionals in regards to learning different things as far as the aspects of the industry, but also I liked how there were Black voices, that were being
Yeah.
represented, in that event, like yours. And
Mhm.
I forgot the other person's name. Her name is Aaliyah. She's like a manicurist, I think.
Yeah, Aaliyah Johnson.
Yeah, yeah, and other Black voices. So, it was cool that they did that, and also too the drag show afterwards.
Oh
Supporting
yeah.
Black Pepper, who's a phenomenal drag queen.
Yes, that was
Um,
amazing. So
from
much
Drag
fun.
Race UK. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So, I really give a lot of respect to Nail Order, because I like how they stand on like integrity and really being about the education aspect of the nail industry, especially in the UK where you live at. Them and Home of Nail Art. So,
Yeah.
big ups to them both.
I did a speech, not a speech. I did a demo, like a live demo with Home of Nail Art in Wales in May. That was also very nerve-wracking. I was doing like a little tutorial of how I film my content. I was on the stage, and there was a big audience of maybe like 100+ people watching me paint a little like cow print on a nail. And yeah, I did
Mhm.
like a talk about content, and also like sort of introduced my Sadie J Academy classes where you can book to learn like nail art and content creation. So that was a good experience as well.
Yeah, that's really, really wonderful. I want to get into the next question. So,
Mhm.
what is your take on the growth of technology and how it's grown in the beauty industry?
I feel like, as I was saying before, there's always something new. There's new developments, there's new sort of tools, there's new platforms. Instagram is
Mhm.
constantly having updates on the algorithm or on
Right.
different features that you can use. And as a content creator, you do have to stay on top of all of the changes, and it's very, very
Yeah.
moving and constantly evolving. So it can be quite stressful to sort of stay on top of that, but yeah, you kind of just have to as part of the job.
Yeah, yeah, it's part of the job. Yeah. So, in regards to being a content creator, what would be some of your tips for nail professionals who are struggling with creating nail art content, and how does one stand out from the crowd?
I feel like you should just try and find your niche. Try and find what works best on your platform. So experiment with posting different types of videos and see the kind of feedback you get from your audience and which things perform better than others. So if you
Right.
post something, you get loads and loads of comments, everyone's really excited, everyone's resharing your work, and they're all like,
Hmm.
wow, wow, wow. Definitely lean into that and like keep producing similar styles of content, just maybe with like a different subject. So
Right.
the same style of content, but just a different maybe design slightly. And yeah, just keep leaning into what works for you and your audience.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. And one thing I really like about some of your content is that not only you just do the nail art, but there's like certain reels that you've done where you've done the nail art with like an outfit. So I want to
Yeah.
get into as far as just fashion and stuff like that. So how would you describe your fashion style?
I really love sort of like bright, colorful things and isometric cuts. I'm not really a print girly, but like if I'm going to wear a print, I have to like sort of pull it back with like more block colors and stuff like that. So yeah,
Mhm.
I love doing the nails to match my outfit. And obviously, prints are really fun to reproduce on a nail, and it's really inspiring to see like sort of color combinations in fashion and
Yeah.
prints, kind of translate that into like a nail design.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely really, really cool. Like me, I'm the same way. I like doing things like with different patterns, and
Hmm.
I like being like colorful and things like that. I love like wearing hats as well. I'm a hat type of
Yeah.
girl. So, the fedoras or the bucket hats,
Ooh.
I rock with those, So it's really cool that, there are some nail artists who not only do the nails, but do the nails that match with their outfit or
Yeah.
what they're wearing like for like the 2 weeks or things like that with different styles and stuff. So, I want to get into this next question. So, what are some of your favorite fashion accessories you can't live without?
Ooh. I mean, I love like, oh, this is a hard question. I don't know. I say I would love any sort of things with like little cutouts or like asymmetric sort of necklines. But it's not really like one item. or an accessory. I love like dainty jewelry, so like very sort of minimal, sparkly, small
Hmm.
jewelry. So like I always wear like
Right.
my tennis bracelet. I have like ear climbers. I just like small like
Yeah.
little bits and bobs that just like have a little bit of sparkle to your outfit. And
Right.
maybe with like bags, always like a small bag. A small bag that's big enough to fit your stuff in, but like cute and small.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I like how some of like the fashion bags, especially like with like Jacquemus or like, Brandon Blackwood's like, trunk bags,
Yeah.
and his bags went viral because like the first bag that he did was in systemic racism. That went viral because it was the whole thing about what happened with George Floyd, and especially a message about, in terms of like, racism and things like that. So I liked how we did that. And it was a statement in itself. And so I like Brendan Blackwood and some of the designers who do these small trunk bags, especially like if they're a statement piece as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to go ahead and get into the nail industry. So what are some things you like about the nail industry, and what are some things you think the nail industry could be improved on?
What I like about it is the sort of sense of community you have, mainly like online, but also when you do go to these things like events with Nail Odor and like Home of Nail Art, like you said, you
Mhm.
meet so many amazing sort of like-minded people that are in the same industry. A lot of us work for ourselves or work alone, and then
Right.
to go to these sort of spaces where everyone's kind of in the same boat, they kind of know what you're going through, they know how it is to work for yourself, and
Mhm.
then to be able to share your experiences and get to know each other and have fun together. That's really nice.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I want to get into as far as representation in the nail industry in the UK. So, do you think that there is enough Black representation in the UK nail industry? Why or why not?
I feel like there is to an extent, but I think most of it is kind of self portrayals online, and there could be more done by the bigger brands and bigger corporations to share the work of more people of color.
Hmm.
Instead of obviously sharing your own stuff, it could be the brand sort of uplifting those creators and those artists and sharing more of their work.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, what do you mean by in terms of like self portrayal? Do you think that some of the brands are performative with their diversity, or what do you mean as far as like portrayal, like self portrayal?
So I mean, like for the Black creators to be posting their own content online, so it would be very much like I'm a creator, I'm posting my work on a
Hmm.
black skin. So like the brands often tend to share more of the work of like white creators and
Hmm.
less those of people of color. So
Right.
it seems like, yeah, it's more like we're just posting for ourselves, and then we don't get always like reposted by the brands and things like that.
Mm. Yeah, I think that there has to be more representation, especially, within like, hand different shades and stuff like that, especially with the nails. I think that, there has to be more respect in terms of Black women's impact in the nail industry. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I feel like to me, as far as, and now I've never been to the UK, but and I'm going based on my observation, you know, it's very, very white dominated in the nail industry in the UK, and I do wish there was more Black representation in the nail industry in the UK down there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think that the industry has came a long way as far as the products, as far as the technology, as far as like education, things like that. And of course, that's still making its improvements. I think it's just a diversity. I think that could be improved, especially on an international scale.
Yeah, I feel like there has been a lot of improvements, but then sometimes it's like there's an improvement and then it's not consistent. So like
Yeah,
there'll
yeah,
be loads of Black creators featured, and then all of a sudden it goes back to how it was before, and then
right.
you're like, oh, like what happened to this person or this person, and they kind of just disappear. So yeah,
Yeah, right.
it
Yeah.
gets better, but then there are like varied times where you're like, oh, like they just kind of stopped doing that now.
Yeah, it's like a up and down thing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I want to get into as far as nail products. So what are some of like your favorite nail products used for like nail art?
I'm really liking the new MSK Nails brushes. She's
Mm.
literally just released Meg. She's released
Yeah,
her
yeah, Meg is really, really cool.
She is amazing. Honestly, I came across her page maybe about a year or so ago, maybe a bit longer than that. And this was
Mm-hmm.
back when I was doing like shout out Sundays on my
Mm-hmm.
page. And she had maybe less than 1,000 followers, and I saw her work and I was just like, wow. And I posted her on my story. I was like, everyone go and follow Meg, she's amazing, look at the character art, look at the line work, like just everyone go and spam her page, amazing. And then flashback to like now, she's got like even more followers than me, like she's doing incredibly well. She's launched her own brushes and they are incredible, so
Mm-hmm.
proud of her and really loving the brushes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what is like some of like your favorite like gel paints as far as like nail art?
So I've been using the Glitter Bells, the Unbeliever Bell gels. I use mostly
Mm-hmm.
the black and white, but I do have like some of the colored ones as well. I just tend to
Mm-hmm.
reach for black and white the most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I like what MSK does as far as like the character art. Like she's really, really good with that. And I had her on the
Amazing.
podcast and and it's really cool that she like creates she has her own line of like brushes and stuff like that. So big congrats to MSK. So yeah, so it's really, really cool that, she's taking like what she does in terms of like the character art and say, hey, let me make my own line of brushes.
Yeah.
So and that's really cool too. Like there's nail artists that are having their own line of brushes now. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense as like a progression for her career to do the
Mhm.
character art and then to release the brushes that she uses to create what she does. So it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. Now, how do you balance being a nail artist with life and mental health?
So this one, it's a tough question. Obviously, everybody and their auntie has struggled with mental health at
Right.
some point in their life. So
Yeah.
it's something that I do really, really struggle with at times.
Mhm.
Having that work-life balance is an incredibly difficult thing to balance all the time. It's kind of
Right.
like you're spinning all of these different plates. Like you've got your family, you've got your friends, you've got your
Right.
career, you've got your fitness, your health, like your well-being, all of these things like you're trying to balance at the same time, and it can be really, really difficult. But
Right.
I guess it's just making time for things that matter to you, things that fill up your cup in a way. So don't be pouring yourself into parts of your life that aren't really gonna benefit you in any way. But
Right.
make sure you kind of get your priorities straight and figure out how much time in the week or in the day you're gonna spend doing a certain thing. So like I'll make time
Mhm.
to cook my meals, I'll make time to go to the gym. I want to see a friend, at least one friend in 1 week. Make sure I'm not in the house all day, every day. I need to go outside for a walk or something.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
yeah, especially when work is really busy, it's difficult to
Yeah.
kind of fit these things in. But it's so, so, so important for your mental health to just make time for those other little bits and bobs so you have a bit more balance in your day.
Yeah, absolutely, most definitely. And I saw that you just developed a cooking page. So what are some of like your favorite dishes to cook?
I love cooking and baking so much. Honestly, I'm such a foodie. I don't know if I have a favorite dish to cook, but if I'm gonna say one thing, I guess maybe like lasagna or something. It's just
That
like such
sounds good.
a meal. I love it. It's just like cheesy. There's pasta. There's meat. Like it's just delicious.
Mhm. Like, do you like bake desserts like pies and cakes and stuff, or do you bake
Yeah,
like mostly? Oh, okay.
yeah. Like I try and do like healthier recipes. So at the moment, it's like all the high protein cookies, like oatmeal
Yeah.
cookies, and all those kind of things that are like a bit less sugar, but they're
Yeah.
still yummy. I'm very into like the healthy desserts right now.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Yeah, there are some good vegan desserts like vegan brownies and vegan
Yes.
cakes and things like that. So, I like how people are more into getting into like the wellness, especially when it comes down to cooking. Like instead
Yeah.
of getting like processed like brownies and stuff, you can make your own brownies at home, like with a couple of ingredients and stuff like that. Or like ice cream, you can use cashew milk or like oat milk or some kind
Yeah.
or almond milk. So it's really, really cool to see like there's creative ways to make things as in terms of using alternative ingredients and
Hmm.
things like that, especially and I look at some of the videos that vegans, do in terms of like their cooking recipes with desserts and cheesecake. I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. That looks really, really good.
Yeah, I saw one that was like brownies, and they used an avocado with cocoa powder and I think chocolate chips or something, and they literally
Mm,
just mixed it all up, and all of a sudden it was brownies. I was like, oh my God, I have to try this because it's like high protein and it looks really good. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's really, really cool. I want to get into as far as advice. So if you can offer one valuable piece of advice for up and coming nail artists and nail techs, what would it be?
It would probably be, this is like a very generic one, but don't compare yourself to someone else that's been doing this thing for like 10 plus years. Online, you're going to see amazing pieces of work every single day, amazing sets of nails, amazing content. And it's very hard not to say, oh, like my nails don't look like that, or my content doesn't look like that. And obviously it's not going to, because you've just started. So just don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure you're always sort of kind of like being aware of what's around you, but not comparing your work to what's existing. So just use it as inspiration to want to get better and want to reach that level one day, but don't rush the process. Just take your time with it. Just as long as you're passionate and you believe in yourself, eventually you will get to that stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Most definitely. Yeah, definitely. Don't compare yourself to others and really stick to what you do. That's very, very important. Absolutely. So last but not least, where can people find you on social media and how can people support you and your content?
So you can find me on Instagram at Sadie J Nails, and also TikTok is the same. And you can support me by commenting and interacting with all of my content. Make sure you're dropping those emojis, reacting to my story, all of that good stuff. Save the post if you want to try one of the designs later. And yeah, tag me if you try any of my designs or if you feel inspired.
Yeah, it's really, really great. Well, thank you so much, Sadie, for jumping on to the show. I love what you're doing. I'm glad for us to catch up like after 2 years since I last had you on the show. For what you're doing. Congratulations on everything. It was a really cool conversation, and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me back. It's been so nice to speak to you.
Yes, absolutely. You too. Bye-bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms. And be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye-bye.